Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
Good morning, vlog. Today's a new day, so you need to smile. So today is day 59 of my 365 days of my 2026. I just woke up. It's currently 9:45 in the AM. I had a very good night. I slept well. I slept like a baby. It also rained almost the whole night, and the sun is out. The sun is out to give us some warmth and some vitamin D. I also hope you had a good night. I hope you had a peaceful night and ready to take on today. Today is the last day of the month, last day of February. And yeah, happy last day of February. I hope you have a good day ahead. I hope you have a good Saturday, a restful weekend, a happy one, a peaceful one, a restful one, in case I didn't mention restful, a Saturday where, in the last day of the month, where you tell your loved ones you love them, you hug your kids, you eat a fruit, you drink your water, you drink your juice, you enjoy your hike if you're going for a hike, you smell your flowers or your flower, you go and see your project and see how they're faring, because probably you've not been able to go and see your project, maybe you're building, be able to go and see how the mjengo is faring, all that good stuff. And so I'm just here to clock in, because this is my daily job, to clock in on here until the 365 days of my 2026 are over, just to record my journey, as a form of documentation and archiving how my days in 2026 unfold. So yeah, I'm hoping to have a good day today, a chill day, a restful day. Hopefully I'll be able to upload vlog day 58, which was yesterday, and see how that goes. And I hope you're enjoying the vlogs as much as I'm doing this to archive my memories here. You'll also get to see how my journey unfolds, and there's no harm in that. There's no harm in building a community around how my days unfold in my 2026, and encouraging each other and reminding each other to clock in and lock in intentionally, so that by the end of 2026 we can see how much progress we have done or made. And I'm all about progress in 2026, because that is what I want, and getting closer to God. Because all this is because of God. It's not even because of me or any human being. It's because of God, and that's the truth. That's the sheer truth. God is there. Jehovah is there, and He guides our every steps, even in the midst of struggle, in the midst of happiness, in the midst of the ups and downs, in the midst of the sugar and salt of life. God is the center of it all, and you need to always trust in Him and give Him all the glory, because if it was not for Him, He created us to experience all this magnificent creation. Not we all, but most of us get lost in the hustle and bustle of life. Even me myself, I get lost in the hustle and bustle of life, but I always try to remind myself and always try to think about how good God is, that He chose me to experience all this magnificent creation, to experience you who is watching me, and experience the other human being, because at the end of the day we will all die. Where will we go? No one really knows where all the souls have gone, And so with all that being said, we all need to give God His flowers as well, because it is because of Him that we are here. And so I give Him all the glory, I give Him all the glory. And I also pray that He blesses me and He blesses you with the best life possible, a life without any struggle, a life where we get to experience all the good things that we aspire to have and aspire to own and aspire to experience. Yes. All the glory is all His, all His. And so today is a beautiful day, yet again. Next month, which starts tomorrow on a Sunday, is my birthday month. And I really have some goals I want to achieve, because at my big age I really need to move out from home and venture on my own and expand, but I really do not throw stones at myself because I'm living at home. No, I actually I had moved out and now came back home because I really wanted to bond with my mom, because there's a point in my life that I didn't live with my mom, and so I moved back home to live with her and get to know her and get to create some memories with her. But now I feel like I'm over it. Not in a bad way, but I now need my space, and I'm really working hard to get there, and we'll see if I'll have moved out by the end of the year, because that is what I'm anticipating, that is what I'm trying to work towards, and other things that I have got planned, They say we plan and God laughs, but I hope God is not laughing at my plans. I hope He's working hard to see me through those plans, please Lord, please. So that's about it. I just wanted to clock on here to say all those things that I said, I just open the camera and talk, words of positivity, and anything that just crosses my mind. And I can see a lizard between two stones. I don't know what it's doing, but anyway. So I hope you experience life positively, even in the midst of maybe despairing, depressive episodes, in the midst of maybe things not going your way. Find that glimmer of hope and hold on to that, cling on to that, pray to God, and trust me, just clinging on God, clinging on the hem of God, or clinging under the wing of God, surely gives you some sort of peace, as you also set yourself to put your best foot forward in regards to trying to better your situation. Bettering your situation can even just be going out on a walk, talking to someone, talking to people, and trying to make a situation better. Because who will do it for you? You're the one who will do it for yourself. Yeah, so with all that being said, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Today, let's comment the flag of Chad. I don't know how Chad's flag looks like, but let's comment the flag of Chad. Chad is a country in Africa, if you do not know. And so, yeah, I'll put the flag over here. Yeah, so you comment it down below. And yeah, allow me to love you and leave you until the evening, where I'll be back here to clock out. And also, as we read the book, as we read a very interesting and motivating book, and see how that unfolds. Till then, please remember to have a beautiful Saturday, a beautiful weekend ahead, a restful one for sure, an easy one, and one that will be full of God's favor. Till then, please stay blessed, safe, and happy. This is the lizard I was talking about. Hey vlog. So it's currently 14:14 to 14 in the PM, and I'm bored. I'm just from devouring a mango, and I'm bored, and I feel like I want to do my makeup and chat the time away. So join me as I'm doing my makeup and chat. Yeah. First of all, I'm going to undo this hair. First, I'll change and do this hair, and then we can do the makeup. Yeah. Or first I undo this hair, then what? Then we can. Don't really have to undo this hair. Yeah, because I want to do it again. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to undo this hair, and then we can. It's going to take a lot of time. Will it take a lot of time? Yeah, I think it's going to take a lot of time. So I'll just style it and then change, and then we can do the makeup. Yeah. Or I first assemble the items, change, then do the makeup. Yeah. No, assemble the items, do my hair, then change, then do my makeup. Yeah. So I was just setting up, and I think I'm done setting up, so we can begin. Standard procedure is to set the microphone. I am my own production team, one man show. Yeah, this one is today's much better. Yeah, I'm quite audible. So I'll start by moisturizing my lips, and I'll start with this Vaseline Blue Seal Petroleum Jelly, the Menthol Balm, and the lip gloss. It's almost coming to an end, but that's what we're gonna do. So the whole essence of the Menthol Balm is that it really gives the lips a cooling effect, and I also feel like it also plumps the lips. So guys, please subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. If you enjoy what I put out, please do consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel. As much as it's an archiving channel, it doesn't hurt to grow it, you know. It doesn't absolutely hurt to grow it. So this year I'm fully focused on YouTube. And so it's over. I need to buy a new one. So as I was saying, I'm fully focused on vlogging my days and uploading the videos on YouTube. So please do consider subscribing. Then I'll go ahead and do my hair. This is just more black tea infused with some rosemary and mint and water. I prefer doing my hair before my makeup just because of the hairline. Spraying a natural hair really does make a difference, because it's also like a form of moisturizing the hair, hydrating, not even moisturizing. Yeah, it's also moisturizing, but let's call it hydrating. Then I'm going with this Sonora berries moisturizing blend. It's almost coming to an end, and I'm sorry. Then just lock all that moisture in. My hair is quite long, and I'm loving it. I love it for me. Should I do a ponytail? No. Let's just... Wow. Here. And then I'll just do my edges. I'll be using this nice and lovely styling gel, which is a farm hold styling gel. My supplies are coming to an end. I'm sad. Yeah. So go to the edges and then we go in with the gel. Trying to set this mirror. Yeah. I'm just going to talk about anything and everything that comes to my mind. And the first thing that came to my mind, that has come to my mind, is like, why is it so hard for people to help? Why is it so hard for people to give someone a helping hand? Like, I've come to realize with life, because I've had my own troubles, and even with my own troubles, I always try to assist where I can, you know. Because even for me, I always try to put myself in other people's shoes, and also try to give them a listening ear. Because even for me, I might find myself in the same situation, you know. So I mean, let's be a little bit humane, kind, and intentional with everything that we do out here, because you might find yourself in a situation that you do not desire and don't want the same help to be granted to you, you know. I've come along, or I've met good people that have set themselves to help me or help other people, but the percentage of good people is like a drop in the ocean. So the next thing I'm gonna do is do my primer. I'm first going to spray this. This is the Creation Flawless Day Setting Spray, but you can also use it as a primer and as a way to like refresh and hydrate your face. Especially on very hot days, it really does come through. Then guys, please consider subscribing. Let's grow this community of locked-in family, of people who are intentional about locking in. I'm looking for the primer. There's a specific primer I want to use. Yeah. I'll prime my face with this primer. This is the Studio Prime Hydrating Primer that has hyaluronic acid in it. And the hyaluronic acid is really good because it's more of it's like glycerin. It attracts moisture on the skin, and so it enables the skin to look more supple and hydrated. It makes your skin look like you drink water, but you still need to drink your water, you know, to drink your water. Settled. There's a transition I really want to do for my TikTok. We'll see how that pans out. I also use the 2-finger rule. It doesn't have SPF, but I always use the 2-finger rule for my primers. I don't know what look I'm going to go for, but I feel like I want to incorporate pink in this look. So we'll see how that unfolds, but for sure I want something pink. And blush. Oh, that feels nice. Oh. beautiful. I'm really looking into getting clients I can glam up, and then I can get some money to get my professional license. I really need God to come through and enable me to get some money to get so that I can get my professional license, because I truly do need it to run my affairs. I'm looking my spoolie. So let me. So awesome. On my spoolie. Oh yeah. Gosh, the struggle. I'm just a girl. Yeah, okay. So next thing I'll do is conceal and try to shape the eyebrows. And I'll be using these two concealers, the Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer in Fawn, and this other one in Beautiful Bronze. So as I was saying, I want to do a transition for TikTok. It's been long since I posted on my TikTok, so let's see how that goes. I'm excited. I'm quite excited for that. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, my handle is Makeup Artist AF1. Makeup Artist AF1. So this is how it looks like. You can see the behind the scenes over there for people that are quite keen. Then I just mix the both of the shades. So I'll not be using any pencil. And as you're feeling as you're concealing or shaping your eyebrows with your concealer, you need to be still so that the lines can be quite crisp and precise. You know what, I'm not entertaining this ear. Maybe just in the 59 of the ear. So that makes the ear quite or fairly new. So you can still set your goals as the ear is fairly new. I feel like when you get to the 100 is when the ear might not be new, but between right now and the 100, you still have days to get your act together. Not to say that I have my act together, but I'm trying to get my act together. I'm surely trying to get my act together. So after that, gosh, I can't find items. What the hell? Okay, I'll just use this foundation. I'll go in with the Revolution, with the Makeup Revolution London Matte Base Power Blurring Full Coverage Foundation in the shade F16, and I'll just use it to blend out the concealer that I just used. This is a foundation that is my shade, and as I said in the other makeup video, it's truly a full coverage foundation, and I truly recommend it. So my wet beauty blender or beauty sponge. You know, beauty blender is actually a company. Let's call it a makeup sponge, and just go in. You see, no pencil was sharpened when I was doing the eyebrows, and they look quite decent, don't you think? Don't you think so? There's still a halo effect, especially on this side. Trying to counter that. Yeah, that looks good. Right. Then I'll just do the foundation, and you see this spot. When I use this foundation, you won't see it at all. So I was saying, why is it so hard for people to just lend a helping hand? Why? I can't answer that question. That's why I'm just quiet, because I don't know why. It's actually the foundation I was looking for, but I don't want to use it. This is in the shade F14. However, I'm using F16. F14 is a bit lighter, so F16 it is. So can you see the difference? Foundation, no foundation, foundation, no foundation. I still prefer no foundation. Well, I love foundation and no foundation, but no foundation is comfortable, very comfortable, and I like it. I say I like it. Honestly, don't know what to talk about, but I just feel like I want to do my foundation, my makeup, just because I can. You know, I discovered it's easier to grow. Okay, let me first ask before I preempt. What platform, what social media platform do you think is easier to grow on? Is it TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat? Which one do you think is easier to grow on? For me, to be quite honest, I feel like TikTok is easier to grow on as compared to other platforms. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's the algorithm. I don't know. Because I feel like people on TikTok are a bit looser. Like they're not as detail oriented as compared to Instagram. But YouTube, it's so hard for people. Or is it just me? Or is it that my content is not interesting? But it's so hard for people to subscribe on YouTube. We say that my tribe or my people will find me. People that resonate with whatever I post on there will find me and find whatever I'm posting interesting. But to be quite honest, I'm not too pressured to grow on YouTube. Sometimes the pressure gets to me, and I really want to grow and I really want to get monetized. But now, if people are not subscribing, sasa tufanye. We just post, and then hopefully one day we look up to 1 million subscribers. Hey, that is wishful thinking, but it can happen. Who knows? It can happen. But 1 million subscribers are a lot. Can you imagine 1 million people, 1 million eyes, 1 million pairs of eyes looking at me in my corner, in this little corner of mine? That's quite insane, but it's possible. But I also really want to be a YouTube partner. So that is what I'm working on, a YouTube partner, but definitely with an angle of, with an approach of me archiving my memories on here, because that's my soul. My memories, my journey, that's my soul, that's the sole purpose I'm doing all this, yeah? Just to document my journey. And I feel like it also serves as my accountability partner. Whether in the beginning of this year, I was really looking for an accountability partner, but to no success, but that didn't deter me from being my own accountability partner. And also, that also pushed me to start posting on YouTube. Yeah, so YouTube is my accountability partner, basically. And you guys are also my accountability partners. My 225 subbies, my locked in family. Oh, I'm part of my locked in family, because here we clock in and lock in intentionally. And I want to sitachoka kusema hivi, we clock in and lock in intentionally, so that by the end of the year we can be happy with the progress. So we're only in day 59. Imagine, day 59 of my 365 days of my 2026. So can you imagine all those days that are ahead of us? And that's what I was saying. You still have time to put your act together, you know. So join this locked in family. Please do subscribe so that we can motivate each other to keep it locked and put in the work intentionally, so that come December 31st of 2026, we can all be happy, and cheers to the progress and growth, and to the fact that we chose to keep it locked in, focused, and we chose to be resilient and to beat the odds, even if the odds are against us. We chose to be courageous enough to be disliked, you know. The lighting is acting up a little bit, but tutasonga nalo. So highlighted my eyelid and my under eye. Now I'm going to highlight my T-zone. And we chose to keep it locked, and we chose consistency, even as boring as it might be. We chose to be consistent, as broke as we might be. We chose to knock on those doors, as closed and tight. We chose to knock on door 1, 2, 3, you know. We chose to put your best foot forward. Because if you don't, who will? Who will do it for you, Aki? No one can do it for you. No one can truly do it for you. And remember, you are experiencing this life for the first and last time. Like you're experiencing today for the first and last time. You've experienced class 1 the first and last time. Because you can't go to class 1. You have to grill that period. So if you did not put your best foot forward in class 1, this is your opportune time to choose putting your best foot forward, you know, making something out of yourself. You do not choose despair. Choose to not choose despair. Choose to not choose depression, because what will depression do to you, for you? Depression will just depress you, leave a negative mark, or probably even a positive mark if you choose to view it as such. I'll then go in with this Banana Dreams powder, W7. The lighting today is not doing any justice, but we shall move regardless. So this is the opportune time to choose yourself over and over again, because that's the only option you have. You feel, you get me? So I'm just setting the concealer. I feel like I want to do a nude eye look with pink corners and a bold pink eye lip look. So then I'll go in with, let's save this. We can actually use this palette. This is the Flamboyant. This is the MAC Art Library in the collection Flamboyant eyeshadow palette, and I feel like I want to do this shade. This is the Samoa Silk shade. This one. yeah, some more silk. So I'll just like pack it on over here. Pack it on real nice. I want it to be quite concentrated. Yeah, so only God has got your back, but you also need to also have your back, you know. As for me, I really want to make moves this year. Now that my parents no longer like, well, yeah, they have a say in my life, but to be quite honest, they don't have that much say as compared to when I was little, you know. So it's up to me to realize that and move with that, yeah. Realize it and move. I can't believe there's a period that I'll have babies. Gosh, that freaks me out. But I also have been getting so much baby fever. I can only pray for God to bless me with a good partner, a partner who is a lover, a partner who is entrepreneurial, you know, a partner who is about his bag, a fun partner, an adventurous partner, all that good stuff. Life, okay, life. If anyone told me that this would be my life, I'll be thinking when I was in class, I would be thinking about how I will have my own babies. I'd be like, stop it. Unanidanganya. Never in 1,000 years. So I'm going to smoke out with this shade. This is Embark shade. It's more of a brown shade. Just going to smoke out the corners. Oh, and actually, have yourselves a happy end of your month. The month of love is coming to an end today. I hope it has been kind to you. And hopefully next year you'll be here and joyful because you put your best foot forward in this new year. Like, and set up yourself for a beautiful year next year, God willing. See. Yeah. Looks like it wants to rain. Like, I really miss the golden hour. Can you see? Is it blending? Is it showing? I don't know if YouTubers struggle with a lot of wanting to put clickbaits, because I feel like I'm struggling with a lot of wanting to put clickbaits. Really, people hate me for putting a clickbait. Looks good, yeah. Trust the process. Do trust the process. It's going to come along nice. I feel like I want to do a pink liner, so let's see how that goes. Let's sculpt that. So I'm going to use this jumbo milk pencil. You know, makeup is all about creativity and how you feel and self-expression, you know. So whatever I'm doing right now, I actually had not planned to, or I didn't even look at a photo. This is also another step that you need to be still and be quiet. Quite cutesy, don't you think? You think so? You think it looks good or nada? I'm also trying to come back to my makeup zoom. I had neglected this aspect of myself, my makeup artistry self. But since I can't rely on people for money, and I really need the money, let's work on ourselves. Let's show the world what we've got. And then the rest will sort itself. The rest will surely sort itself out because, I mean, what else can I do? What else can I do? So I'll then go in with this pink. This is the MAC Art Library, it's designer eyeshadow palette. And so this pink is called Bright Pink. It's actually quite a bright pink shade. And I'll just use it as the liner. Like it doesn't look quite visible on the video, but trust me, it looks beautiful. Everything I do is beautiful. That's one thing I know about myself. Everything that I do is beautiful. And it's crazy to think that someone asked me, I think people are audacious, people are quite very audacious. So this specific man, kwanza it's a man, a full grown man. So akaniuliza, ati how does it feel to live at home at my age? And I was like, sasa unasikiaje kuishi nyumbani na miaka yako? I'm like, I couldn't be rude, but I almost snapped. Because I was like, miaka yangu inakwashia nini? Pilipili usioila ya kwashiani. I was like, why are you bothered about my age and me living at home? Well, I know there's a stereotype that, or a notion that has been set around time immemorial, that there's a certain age, it reaches a certain age that you need to move out from home, And it's okay, but it's not okay, depending on the perspective. Because for this person to ask me that, maybe he was innocently asking me, but I mean, what does it concern him? If he's not doing anything about it, then why is he concerned about me living at home? It's not that he's offering a roof over my head for me to move out and live alone. So he's just asking me that to make me feel bad. And I'm like, see, just mind your own business. You don't know why. You don't know why I'm living at home. So why does it concern you? Yeah, that's my personal decision. Those are my personal choices. You want me to come and live with you, and you're not telling me that you want me to come and live with you. Just say it. We'll see, I got the baby boy. Yeah? But moral of the story is, pilipili usioila yakwashiani. You know, I have my own reasons as to why I'm living at home, and I have my own reasons as to why I moved back home. So I do not understand why you're so pressed about me living at home at my big age. What you should be more concerned about is going to the gym and figuring out how your central obesity will be managed, you know. And I'm not saying that in a rude way, but why are you concerned about my life? If you're not doing anything to solve the problem that you think is the problem, then why are you bringing it up? If me mwenyewe, well, I've been thinking about it. Well, it's a question I received early this month. It has kept recurring to me because I'm like, why? Why are you concerned? You know, like, can't you just mind your own shenanigans? Can't you? Because you need to. So, yeah. Anyway, I know what I should be doing, and I'm actively working towards whatever I want to do, you know. And if you can't help me achieve what I want, then try it. So that's that. It doesn't look as cute as it looks in person, but it looks beautiful. Anyway, guys, his question rubbed me the wrong way, but it surely didn't phase me, because I feel like I'm moving quite strategically. And so for him to comment, to bring up topics that do not make sense, just made me wonder. Hey, people can make you wonder. People can truly make you wonder. Wonders. I really hope today the sun will have a golden hour moment. You can take some cute photos. Then after that, I'm going to go in with concealer. I mean, like with what is it called? Contouring, and I'll be using this Illegal Pro Coverage HD High Definition Long Wear Illuminating Foundation in the shade Dark Chocolate. There's the lid. So I'm just contouring. Yeah. Then I'll go in with this beauty blender now. With this one. And then just blend. So there's a trending news that is trending here in Kenya of a lady who was working in a pharmacy, and she got a prescription where she was meant to prescribe or to dispense a drug, and the drug was meant to be used by a baby, and the drug was supposed to be a drug where you instill in the eye. So this lady went ahead and dispensed a drug, a topical drug, a drug that is supposed to be a dermatological drug, you know, a drug that is supposed to be put on the, or applied on the skin rather than the eye. So she dispensed the wrong drug. Instead, she was supposed to dispense a drug, an eye drop. So the mother to this child, so the story is like this. The mother to this child went with a prescription to the pharmacy. It seems like the child had an eye issue, and so the drug that had been written on the prescription was an eye drop. So this pharmacist, presumed pharmacist, I don't know if she's a pharmacist, a pharm tech, I don't know. But the thing is, it seems like she was not licensed to dispense drugs, because for you to dispense drugs in a pharmacy, or for you to presume your duties as a pharmacist or a pharm tech, you need to be licensed. Everywhere in the world, not only in Kenya, but I presume everywhere in the world, for you to presume duties as a pharmacist or a pharm tech, you need to be licensed and registered to a society. So this lady went ahead and dispensed a drug that is supposed to be applied on the skin. And it's so sad because the skin drug that was dispensed, this lady instilled the drug in the child's eye 5 times daily. Can you imagine instilling a skin medication 5 times daily in the eye, in the eyes of the child? So I think 5 days later, or I don't know how many days later, the mother comes back to the pharmacy and she's like, gosh, you gave me the wrong drug. Now my child is having an adverse reaction. I don't know if the child is blind or, I mean, it damaged the child's eyes, you know. And so this lady in the pharmacy is like, I'm sorry. It was a huge mistake. And you know, my heart goes out for her, first of all, because me myself, I'm a pharmacist. And it's so easy for someone to make errors, especially in the community pharmacy space. And especially if you're working in a very busy pharmacy. And also especially if your boss is there, you're being told to dispense drugs fast, you know. There are so many factors that could contribute to making errors when you're dispensing. But then again, I'm like, yeah, she made a mistake and she's sorry. So what will the mother do? What will the child do? The child is now probably maybe blind. The eye has been terribly affected. So what will the mother do? And I try to put myself in that situation. First of all, for me, I really try to be very attentive, you know. But things can go wrong so fast. My heart goes out for that lady, because now that has opened my eyes and other pharmacists' eyes, because we need to be very, very careful and vigilant while dispensing drugs, yeah? Because it's hard. My heart goes out for the pharmacist or the pharm tech, and majorly to the mother of this child, because now, and the child, because that's what I do. What will the child do? The child will grow knowing that he or she was not born like that. It was because of an error, you know. You know, even this pharmacist will now have a phobia of working in the community pharmacy space, because now what was that? What was that? It's sad, but moral of the story is, as a pharmacist, we need to be very, or even as a pharm tech, we need to be very vigilant and read the prescriptions keenly to avoid such grievous errors that could cost a life and even a deformity, you know? Because now, not even a deformity, a disability, you know? That is sad, that is so sad. I don't even know, I don't know. But we need to be very careful. We need to be very, very careful. Because if I was the mother to the child, hey, I don't know what I would have done. I truly don't know what I would have done. Because you have to tell me now, my child, I gave birth to this child, and this child was okay, was normal. And now you want to tell me that now this child will not be, hatakuwa naona vizuri. Do your own mistakes. And you know, I also blame, come to think of it, I also blame the patients who come to the pharmacy. Because the patients who come to the pharmacy, you find that these patients are in a rush. You know, they don't want to wait for you to make the decision and read the prescription visually. They're questioning you. Well, it's good to question you, because that also actually makes you be keen. But then don't rush. Don't rush the pharmacist or the pharm tech, because this is a matter of life and death. You know, people don't take it seriously when they're coming to the pharmacy to take the drugs. They just think it's all about dispensing and dispensing alone. But there's so much that goes into dispensing. There is so much that goes into dispensing, and people actually need to respect that as the profession it is and take it seriously, because now, even the bosses of the pharmacy, it's not all about making money, and not all about you micromanaging on the you bosses, because your boss will be there, he will rush you to make decisions. You know, I've been in that space, and it's not a comfortable space. So my heart just cries out for both parties, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But then again, how does my story help? How does my story help? How does her story help? How does her story help the child? It does not help at all. So, as a pharmacist, as a pharm tech, let's just be very, very vigilant and keen when we are reading and interpreting the prescriptions. That's all I'll say. Because that was a sad scenario. That's a sad scenario that happened. And I wouldn't wish that on any pharmacist, any parent, any child, and even for the parents. Parents should also feel free to ask questions. If you're not comfortable, ask questions. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. Because also going to the pharmacy is like going to the hospital, you know. Eh? Hapana? So, yeah. Let's all be vigilant and keen. Anyway, that story aside, because that's a sad story. Juu ilinitingiza because, you know, I work in the community pharmacy space, and I know the hurdles that come with working in the community pharmacy space. You know, pharmacists run into industry, forgetting that we also need to strengthen the community pharmacy space. Because if we all, also for me, I desire working in the industry, but then again, I'm like, if we all run to industry, who will serve the community? One thing about the community, you need to be very strong working in the community, because you interact with different people, impatient people, patient people, abusive people, very sick people, because you also find yourself contracting infections while you're in the community pharmacy. Especially, I found myself struggling with when people have a cold. I also get a cold, and I also fear interacting with people with fungal infections, you know, because it's easy for someone to contract a fungal infection in the community, and that is not desired, you know. So let's all be patient with each other. When you come to the community pharmacy, be patient with the community pharmacists, because they're trying their best, you know, and they can't have gone to school for that long. Do not want the best for the patient, you know. So let's all have some grace. Looks like it wants to rain. Yeah, that is something that caught my eye today, and I was sad. I was very sad for that lady, because it could easily be me. It could easily be me. That really opened my eye today, my eyes. Looks like it wants to rain. Cats and dogs. So the next thing I want to do, you know what I forgot? I forgot to do my blush. I really want, but you can do the pink blush. Let's do the blush together. And this is something this lady will always live with. Imagine, she'll always remember that she dispensed the wrong drug. I'm so sorry for her. I wish I did the lipstick, or I wish it was more of a cream blush. But since it's not, you know what? We improvise. Out of all the makeup trends, this is the one trend that I really like. The blush, concentrating the blush on your cheek area. Yes, I'm just really concentrating this blush. I want to be quite visible, but I pray that God guides all the pharmacists, farm techs in the world to be as vigilant as the profession demands us to be. Vigilante. Looks good. I'm wondering what I'll do on my under eye. What should I do on my under eye? I don't know what I'm doing my under eye. My lower under eye. Looks dark. Wallahi nachukua bodaboda, nachukua sauti ya bodaboda. So I don't know how to. Looks like I have a black eye, but I've got a plan. It's gotten dark. So I'll use this pink shade. It actually looks good. It's just that the lighting is horrid is a strong word. Horrid is quite a strong word. Sorry, Bo. The setup will get better with time. Now it's gotten quite dark. It's been raining like every day. since I love the rain, do I complain? No, no, never, never. Doing with mascara. And now, last but not the least, we'll do the lips. I feel like because, let's wait, let me take something, let me grab something. Eish, bana. Things are crumbling. Things fall apart. Like, let's do some shimmer. So I'm using this MAC mineralized blush in the shade Love Joy. I'll just use it to. Can you see the difference? I should actually Love Joy. Looks like I have a button. Yeah, I feel like this right here is quite harsh. No. Yeah, that's it. Then let's do the lips, and then we can call it a makeup look. Because I'm feeling pink today, so let's line. Or should we do a pink lip look? Should we? So let me put the pencil. I don't know where that pink pencil is, but in case I find it, I can't seem to find that. Sad story. Gosh, I could find. Wait. You know, when you're looking for things in a rush. Okay, I found something. Yeah. Now let's do. Oh, this is what I was looking for. So I'll use the Davis pencil, the lip liner in shade 40, and I'll just like line my lips. And then I'll go in with this Maybelline New York Vivid Matte Liquid, Lip Liquid in the shade Grey Envy. And just put it in the middle of my lips. Let's put it over here. And sort of create an ombre look. So this dries down matte. So just wait for it to dry. Yeah, and then you can add some lip gloss after it's dry. Okay, just a final look. It looks beautiful. It turned out beautifully beautiful. Magnificent though. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You know, I thank God. I just thank God. No need for lashes. I'm not in the mood of lashes. So just be content with the lashes that we have, our natural lashes. So just for it to dry down. And I just put the lip gloss on top, right? Now let's wait for it to dry. Yeah, so this is how the makeup look has turned out. I hope you enjoyed the session, the yap session. It was not quite a yap session, but I mean I've yapped, you know. I've yapped the time away, I've done my makeup. Yeah, I feel good, I look good, I feel good. And I advocate for you guys to do your makeup whenever you feel like it, because why not? Why not? Yeah. I'm just going to take the transition, the film the TikTok transition, and then we can call it a day. And I'll meet you back here as we're reading the book, you know. Yeah, as we're reading the book, because we'll be reading that book every day until we are done, and until now that when we'll be done, you can choose another book that you can read. Yeah. So till then, keep it locked. Rate my makeup look, rate my makeup skills on a scale of 1 to 10. Would you book me? Let me know down in the comment section, and I'll appreciate that you took your time to comment. Yeah. See you as you're reading the book and as I'm clocking out. Till then, be safe, and it's really in a couple of hours, so keep it locked.
anyone even like Barbies anymore? Am I even relevant? Of course I am! I'm Barbie!
Hey vlog, so it's time for me to clock out, but before I clock out, I want us to read the book. This book, I want us to continue reading it. So it's currently 1917, 7:17 in the PM, and so standard procedure is that I will set the timer to 30 minutes, and then we'll read the book for 30 minutes, and yeah, we'll see how the story unfolds. It's quite an interesting book. I hope you find it interesting as I do find it interesting. Gosh, this space. Yeah, so it's currently raining and thundering. I hope the lights won't go off, guys. And if you need me to make this art for you, please just send me an email, and you can organize. Available to deliver worldwide. Anyway, we'll talk about the art after we are done. So the timer is start. So we left at page 73. The last sentence was, that's what makes me so hard to beat. Let's continue. This game, this sport, this life on tour is a kind of carnival carousel. Always the same horses and unicorns. Always the same sad bench. Always the same girls and coaches going around and around. Do I recall any of the early matches or tournaments? To be honest, most of it's a blur, but here and there a memory shines through. A perfect point on a perfect morning, the smell of the ocean, the evening sun holding the trophy, its weight, raising it up, but just for a moment, and then it's on to the next practice. The next tournament, I was winning. That's what mattered. And it wasn't just that I was winning, but who I was beating. The best players in my age group in the world, including Nick Bollettieri's prodigies. He'd send them over, I'd dispatch them and send them back. This must have bothered Nick. It meant he'd kicked me out of his academy, but could not forget me or move on, because there I was screwing up his plans. In the end, the best solution for Nick was just to get me back into his academy. That way, when I won a tournament, it'd be a victory for Bollettieri's. And, of course, he knew my situation. Everybody knew everything in the gossipy world of tennis. He knew I was without a coach, without a school, without my own place to stay. The situation had changed for him too. I had been too young to attend the academy when I first turned up at his gate, and definitely too young to live there. I was older now. Whether or not Nick had once been convinced there was something not quite kosher about us turning up from nowhere, all that changed too. Now we were better than kosher. We were bagels and locks. Nick offered a scholarship. Why am I reading like this today? Fees will be taken care of, room and board, everything. But we still needed money and income. So for Yuri, that meant finding a job, which he did. He actually went back out to the landscaping crew, but was careful about lifting and straining. A person with a bad back looks at the world with an appraising eye. What are the chances? I moved into a dorm at Bollettieri's, which I hated. More on that later. For now, it's enough to say that my suspicions were correct. I was an oddball, different from the other girls, another type altogether. Meanwhile, Yuri was living with the Canes in Venice and working like a dog, earning money. I talked to my mother once a week and wrote her letters frequently. She was still working on her visa, trying to put together the papers so she could join us in Florida. She's been working on this all along. Back then, it was just about impossible to get the right documents. There was a long waiting list and a lot of corruption and a lot of money that had to be paid. And if you didn't pay the right amount to just the right person, the line could get longer as you waited on it. But she was finally making real progress. Whenever Yuri had the chance, usually on the weekends, he'd visit and watch me play. He took a bus from Venice. It was sad when he left and I had to go back to my room alone. I missed him, he missed me, and the absence of my mother was becoming more intolerable by the day. I was still just a kid. I needed my family. For me, the good things have always happened on the court. That's how I finally attracted the sort of help I needed to get to the next level. I was playing in a tournament down the coast on the Gulf side of Florida. All the elite players were there, the coaches too. I was probably the youngest player in the tournament, 11 years old, and going up against players who were 2 or 3 years older, most of them much taller and stronger than I was. I was small for my age, knock-kneed, and slight, legs too big for the rest of me. swinging from the hills. I cruised through the early rounds. A cheer went up whenever I won a point. Hearing applause from around the court was new for me. I sat in a chair during changeover, looking to Yuri on the sidelines. He always had words for me, messages. Sometimes it was as simple as him holding up a bottle of water, which meant, "Drink, Masha, drink." Often, in the midst of a match, I forget to drink, a fact I become aware of only at the end of the day, deep in the third set, when nausea washes over me and the world tips on its axis. Whoa, the bleachers around the small center court were filled. It was a typical collection of parents and siblings, and here and there anonymous tennis fans. Among them, unbeknownst to me, was a woman who would change my life. Her name was Betsy Nigelsen. She was in her late 30s or early 40s, a handsome woman with a short, choppy brown hair who had retired from pro tennis not long before. She had been a top player in the 1970s and 80s, reaching the rank of 23 and winning a handful of single titles and many more in doubles. Nigelsen had played a game not unlike my own, a baseline power game. Her mom, who lived in Venice and had seen me playing in a local court, noticed the similarity and called her daughter and said, "You've got to see the tiny Russian girl. She plays just like you did at that age. It's like looking back in time." Nigelsen worked for one of the TV networks as a commentator, so had seen more players and games and can't miss talents than she could probably remember, but still she came down. She sat there all afternoon, watching as I advanced from match to match. What most struck her, I later learned, was not merely the similarities between our games, but my doggedness, the anger with which I played, the way I chased down every ball, driving opponents to the corner of the court. At a few key moments, I have been spotted and championed by powerful women who came before me. They did not do it for a reward. In fact, they did it anonymously, just interested in giving a leg up to a girl who could play. They did it in service of the game. Navratilova sent us on our way to America. Nigelsen sent us on our way to stability. Betsy Nigelsen was married to Mark McCormack, founder and owner of the premier sports agency in the world, the International Management Group, IMG. Not only did IMG represent the best tennis players in the world, it put on and produced some of the greatest tennis tournaments, including Wimbledon. IMG would eventually come to own Bollettieri's Academy and other academies and schools involved in other sports, including football and baseball. These days, IMG is much without peer, representing some of the best athletes in the world. McCormack who was almost 30 years older than his wife. He was in his 70s when I came into the picture, had built the agency from scratch. It grew out of two friendships. In the 1960s, McCormack, who was friends with the golfer Arnold Palmer, they were among the top athletes in the world at the peak of their sport, yet McCormack noticed they had trouble making real money. McCormack, who was a lawyer and financial guy as well as a sports nut, talked it over with Palmer. He believed he could use their fame as leverage and get them paid. It was this sort of basic transaction that built IMG in its early years. In the end, Palmer, greatly enriched by IMG, would serve as the best possible advertisement. Other athletes saw what McCormack had done for them, then came along looking for the same kind of help, and he signed them up, and IMG grew and grew until it became what it is today. What it is today. Sorry, I've gotten distracted a bit and I've lost track. It was headquartered in Cleveland, where McCormack had his office. No matter how big his firm grew, no matter how many clients it took on, it remained rooted in that first simple idea. You invest in athletes when they are young and put them on a firm footing, and then let them bloom. So you invest in athletes when they are young. You invest in athletes when they are young, put them on a firm footing, and let them bloom. When they succeed, IMG prospers. For every 10 kids they scout and sign, only one might make it, but that's enough. Nigelsen did not come down to meet me after the tournament or talk to Yuri. She went home and called her husband instead. She said, "There's a girl here in Florida, a tiny little Russian girl. We've got to send someone down to see her. She's going to be a star." McCormack contacted Gavin Forbes, the tennis guru at IMG, who had been a good player and was known for his terrific eye for talent. He could discern the great from the seemingly great player, could tell who had that extra gear, that other thing. I've asked Gavin if he remembered the first phone call about me. He laughed and said, "Not only do I remember it, I wrote about it in my diary." One afternoon, McCormack's wife, Betsy Nigelsen, called me out of the blue and said, "Gavin, there's a Russian girl playing tennis down here in Florida. She's beating all of the other players. You've got to send someone to see her right away before word gets out. She's sensational. She's going to win Grand Slams." Betsy had been a world-class player and she knew the game inside out, so of course, I took that call very seriously. Gavin told me. But to be honest, I get dozens of calls just like that every week. Somewhere, someone has always just discovered the next great player and she's gonna do this and she's gonna do that. And I get myself out of the office and go and I see them, because you never know, but 98% of the time what you see are nice kids and good players, maybe very good players, but there's a big difference between very good and extraordinary. When I asked Betsy for more details, more information, her answer was strange. Gavin went on. It was just different than what you normally get with young female players. Most of them are managed by their mothers, tennis moms. But Betsy told me it was your father who worked with you, that his name was Yuri, that you'd come from Russia, just the two of you, when you were very young. Where's the mother? Gavin had asked. She's still in Russia, said Betsy. Come down and see this girl, she added. You won't regret it. I set up a kind of audition for you at Bollettieri's Academy, Gavin explained. You will hit back and forth with some of the pros, then play a few points with another girl, an older girl we had picked out. The first thing I really remember is seeing your father walking down a little path at the back end of the academy. I introduced myself and we started talking. Yuri kept calling me Mr. Gavin, and I kept telling him my name was Gavin, just plain Gavin. I asked him, Yuri, how did you end up here, so far from home? And he said, well, Mr. Gavin, I will tell you. I realized when my daughter was very young, around 4, 5, 6 years old, that she had a very special gift and a passion, and I could not ignore that. So I left everything behind and went along as she followed her dream. I have moved to the United States and want her to be a tennis player, and not just any tennis player. I want her to become the greatest tennis player in the world. That's how it started. I said, okay, great, let's go watch your daughter play. I stood against the fence in the shade. It was hot as blazes down there. I got a heater set up, and here comes this little girl with long blonde hair and clear green eyes. Your knees were bigger than your legs. That's the stage you were in. Little knobby knees and thin little legs, but your eyes, they were just so sharp, so intelligent. You were wide awake. I'm wide awake. That's what really stood out. So you got out on the court and literally did not miss a ball, not a single ball, for the first 5 or 6 minutes. I'd never seen anything like that. 5 or 6 minutes, that's an eternity in a tennis rally. And you are always hitting the same ball, flat and hard. And I'm watching you thinking, oh my gosh, this is really extraordinary. I watched you play for 30 to 40 minutes, and I was just blown away, not only by the way you struck the ball, but by your understanding of the game and the way the tennis court works. You are thinking 5 or 6 shots ahead, setting up your opponent, moving her around, using the court like a chessboard, and I don't think that kind of vision and skill can be taught. You either see that way or you don't. It was your eyes, like I said. You just understood everything that was going on, the tennis angles and all of that. So we come off the court and sit down and start talking. That's when I really introduced myself for the first time. You are very polite, but a little shy, but not too shy, you know. I asked you, I said, Maria, what is it that you want to do? And you looked me right in the eye and said, I want to be the best tennis player in the world. Gavin Forbes went back to his office in Cleveland and sat down with a bunch of colleagues from IMG. He told them all about me, how he planned to sign me, and how they would need to work with me to support me. A short time later, IMG hired a young sports agent and sent him to Bradenton to work with the elite group of players. His name was Max Essenbad. He'd been a Division 1 college tennis player at Purdue. He was not good enough to make it on the professional tour, so he'd gone into the business side. Max Essenbad would become one of the most important people in my life, a reliable constant. He's one of Yuri's closest confidants too, the one person, other than members of the family, who's been beside us for nearly the entire ride, close when things have gone right, even closer when things have gone wrong. Everyone wants to be with you when you're winning Grand Slams, but who will stick close when the world turns on you? Who will stick close? Not even closer. That's the question. I remember the first time I was really aware of Max. He was outside the court, just standing there, watching me play. He was impressed by my angle in a way maybe only another tennis player can be. He could see through all the little details, my gender and size, the color of my hair and my age, to what was really driving me to the core of the game. It was all about focus. Max told me. It was about how you locked in on that ball, stayed focused on the task. There was nothing but the ball and that shot and that game. The rest of the world just vanished. Even during the changeovers, you were locked in, you know. Join us, we are the locked in family. Even the book says you are locked in. You'd sit down to rest, but your feet would be moving, your eyes staring straight ahead. If you have talent plus that kind of focus when you're a kid, as an agent, you have an experience like that. If you have talent plus that kind of focus when you're a kid, as an agent, you have an experience like that, or working on a court and seeing something like you at that age, maybe once in your career if you're lucky. Gavin Forbes made the same point. That's the thing that really stood out. He told me, when you walked on the court, it was 100% focus until you walked off. It was beyond maturity. That level of concentration for a person your age, what were you? 10, 11? The focus was just unreal. Max sat and talked with me and my father, and it clicked right away. You recalled Gavin that night and said, Max is our guy. Max sat down with his colleagues a few days later and they came up with an offer, a plan. In the meantime, what got out? IMG was trying to sign this Russian girl. Just like that, I became a hot property. Agents who knew nothing about me were ready to draft a document and to make a deal. Even if they'd never seen me play, IMG had and wanted me, and that was enough. That's how the world works. My father, who'd been kicked out of El Cuestador and sent into exile a few months before, was suddenly getting phone calls from agents and managers from all over the world. Yuri had made a trip to New York to meet a famous agent named Paul Theophanes. Yuri did not sign with Theophanes, but he was wonderful to me and gave my father a key piece of advice that got us through the coming period, which was tumultuous. His words would be a kind of guide for Yuri as the relationship changed. Until now, it has just been you and Maria, Theophanes told my father. But that has got to change. If your daughter becomes really big, you cannot do this all on your own. You cannot give her everything that she will need. It's impossible for one person, no matter how good that person is, to provide everything. You are good. You are going to need to step back, let go, and let others come in and help you. It will not hurt your relationship with your daughter, I promise. It will only make it stronger. In the end, after hearing many offers, we decided to go with IMG because they came down and paid attention first, and because they were at the time the best for us. As I said, the agency started with McCormack and Arnold Palmer, and that intimate sense of partnership and we're in this together has never gone away. The details were worked out by Gavin Forbes and my father one afternoon. I think it was just a phone call. Gavin said, Yuri, tell me, what do you need? Yuri, tell me, what do you need? Money, said Yuri. I need money. I can do a budget for you. Well, what do you think it will be? Asked Gavin. And be smart about it. You need to be realistic, but you also need to make sure you can actually survive on your budget, because I need to go to my bosses and I'm going to recommend that we fully support Maria, but I only want to go to them once. Yuri said he'd need around $40,000. He wanted to buy a car so he could travel from tournament to tournament, and he wanted to rent an apartment near the academy. I've already found the place, said Yuri. I think it's very reasonable. Gavin told him he'd need more than that. For coaches and equipment, got time and travel and trainers and specialists and whatever. Altogether, the budget amounted to something like $100,000 a year. Money that IMG would get back if I ever made it as a pro. I was invited with a few other players from the academy to McCormack's house soon after we signed with IMG. It was a mansion in Orlando. He worked out at Cleveland, but Florida is the capital of tennis, which is why he had a second home there. Bob Kane, that was the first time I'd ever been in a rich guy's house. Well, this was the first time I'd ever been in a really rich guy's house. I was mesmerized and giddy. I could not stop laughing. The size of the rooms, the garage with many doors, all those big windows, its own trail through the trees and guest house. Who would ever heard of that? A second house on the grounds of the first, and it's a bigger house than anyone could ever possibly need. It's like that house gave birth to this house, but this house decided to skip college and just live near home. I can only imagine how mesmerized she was. But the more important thing that happened right after signing with IMG was this. Gavin set up a showcase with the top Nike tennis executives at the time, Riccardo Colombini and Chris Vermeeren, at the backcourts of the Ritz-Carlton in Miami. A few weeks later, at the age of 11, I signed my first Nike contract for $50,000 a year plus bonuses. I didn't realize at the time how abnormal that was. Nike was investing in an 11-year-old girl. Like Gavin and Max at IMG, Nike believed in my talent. They were betting on me even when I was just a kid. Time is up. But we'll read one more page and call it a day. So, oh my God, gosh. Wow. Set up issues, but it's alright. Let's continue. So, they were betting on me even when I was just a kid. Being at IMG really changed everything for us. For the first time, we did not have to worry about food and rent. If something went wrong, we could go to a doctor. If there was a tournament, we had our own means to get there, so I could focus on tennis. This money coming in, it taught me something. It was like I suddenly woke up to the truth of the world. For the first time, I sort of understood what it was all about. Tennis is a sport, but it's not just a sport. It's a passion, but it's not just a passion. It's a business. It's money. It's stability for my family. I got it now. You might think this would upset or disillusion me, but the opposite was true. I finally knew why I was doing what I was doing. I finally understood the stakes. It finally made sense. From that moment, my task became clear. Just go out there and win. It was the end of an era. My father and I had been living in a kind of a dream. It had been me and him against the world. It made me close in a special way. It made us close in a special way. We were two people who had only each other. There was no one else we could trust or even completely understand, so we relied on each other. That changed when IMG and Max entered our lives. We were no longer alone. It was the end of the first great act of my career. The me and Yuri and no one else part was finished. I was happy but also sad to see it go. There were hard times, but looking back, I can see that some of those hard times were the best times. It formed the bedrock, the basis of everything that would follow. It made me lonely, but it also made me independent and strong. When money came in, that was over. What had been confusing became clear. What had been crooked became straight. Yuri stopped working. No more need to cut loans and carry flower boxes. His life was now only tennis. He took to studying, really reading those tennis books. He rented the apartment he'd mentioned to Gavin. It was in the complex where we had lived with the Russian lady. Only now we had a place of our own, a 2-bedroom unit big enough for all of us, me, my father, and my mother, who just about had those visa issues resolved. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. What a beautiful end to chapter 6. So tomorrow we'll be reading chapter 7. Yeah. Very, very beautiful read, yeah. So yeah, that just comes to show me and affirm me that I'm actually doing a good thing, staying locked in, even when things feel very salty, very tough. It all pays off, and there are actually good people out there who are willing to help, and actually also putting your best foot forward. That is what I'm always preaching, and that is what I live by, because we only live this life once. Imagine, like today, day 59, the last day of February. I've only lived today once, and to be quite honest, I put my best foot forward today. I hope you did put your best foot forward today, and you were happy, you smiled, you laughed, even though there's nothing to laugh about. I mean, like you found a reason to smile just by the virtue that you are alive. You can be able to smile even just doing this. That's still okay. It's all you have to do. We've got to do, yeah, putting our best foot forward. And so I'm back here as we continue reading this magnificent book, Maria, such a beautiful, resilient girl. I love this book. So yeah, I was saying, these are my art pieces, guys. I scout for this wood, and everything here is handmade. So I scout for the wood, and then I do all this art. This is part of my limited edition collectible art in the edition Locked In, Courage to Lock In edition. And so you can check out my Instagram and DM me or send me an email that I've included in my About Here on YouTube, and just let me know what art piece you're interested in purchasing, and then we can further talks and how you can make the payments and how you'll get your art piece. I tend to think that these are very cool art pieces that are quite inspiring and speak to each and everyone, from the small child to the teenagers to the youth, the adults, the elderly, and it's also quite aesthetic as an interior design decor. Yeah, so just hit me up and I'll surely be able to get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, don't you think they're cute? Because I surely think they are. I wouldn't make anything that is not inspiring or cute to look at. Yeah, so that's just about it. Thank you so much for sticking through till now. Today's video has been quite long because I also incorporated this look. Sad that I did not manage to get photos because the sun did not come out, but I think the next time I'll be doing my makeup is after all this rain is over, and I'm sure that I can capture photos during the golden hour period. Yeah, the golden hour timeline. So yeah, that's just about it for today. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Today you are commenting the Chad flag. Chad is an African country, is a country in Africa, which I really do not know how the flag looks like, but today is the day I know, and today is the day you also know. Yeah, and so with all that being said, I hope today, Saturday, has been a good day for you, a restful day. I hope you've gotten to ease into the weekend. Tomorrow is Sunday, day 60, a new month, my birth month. Yeah, quite exciting because I'll be turning a big age that needs me to roll my sleeves highest and pull up my socks, because hey, I need to learn how to drive a car. I need to move out. All that needs to happen this year, and I'm determined. I'm quite determined to put my best foot forward and to stay locked in, focused, to make all that happen, and also to see my systems flourish and to get the wheels rolling. You might not know, but you'll see how it all unfolds. Yeah, so please do consider subscribing so that you can see how this journey unfolds. Yeah, we need to get to 1,000 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I'll actually check my watch hours on Monday. But wow, I've got a long way to go. I think I'm at just 4 watch hours. Will I ever get to 4,000 watch hours? Yeah, we'll see. We'll get there by the time the year is coming to an end. No pressure, really. Yeah, no pressure. There is pressure, but healthy pressure is the healthy pressure. Anyway, I'm talking. That's so much. So allow me to love you and leave you, because if I continue talking, this video will be too long. Yeah, and you might get bored along the way. So I'll meet you here tomorrow as we see how tomorrow unfolds. So far, so good. I thank God for being with me today and for being with you today. And I hope he's going to be with me and with you all the days of our lives and answer our prayers. Yeah, meet us at our point of need and answer all our prayers. Guys, allow me to love you and leave you until tomorrow, which is going to be day 60. And in the meantime, please do keep warm because it's quite cold. Sip on your hot warm water, sip on your hot chocolate, and have yours a very beautiful and peaceful night ahead. Also, I really love talking about my makeup. I really do love how my makeup turned out. I was feeling quite pink today, and so this is how it turned out. As much as I didn't take photos, it actually did turn out quite cutesy. Anyway, that's all. Bye.